Oh wait, I was supposed to... Yeah. Got a little bit of a problem right now. We've got a bit of a problem. And that is, the egg has a gun. It would be a terrible shame for you to return to your native land in a box. What do I do? I'll do it. There's some things a man must protect at all costs. This may well be one of those things. And again, it may not. Oh, Mr. Windibank. This is my shop. I can't allow any harm to come to my customers. If that were to happen, I should have to take my own life. Mr. Windibank, no! Your priorities! Alright, that's enough. Hey. Inspector Gregson. Inspector? That's right, Sunshine. The alarm was raised to one of our dedicated emergency lines. So we got here as fast as we could. Now what's all this about, eh? Oh, praise be. You're here at last. I was moments away from forfeiting my own life at my very own establishment. It would seem you have the upper hand. Right, you lot have got some explaining to do. I don't appreciate being bothered with some petty argy-bargy. A petty? Mr. Windibank very nearly met his end. Yeah, by his own gun, as far as I can tell. Oh dear. The whole of Britain could meet with its end if I don't get to the bottom of this case I'm supposed to be working on. What? What on earth is this case, Inspector? Spare no detail, Gregson. I might have said a little too much. No matter. Nothing to do with you, Law. Anyway, sir, you're going to have to come with me down to the station. But of course, Inspector. Ah! He's getting away. Get after him, lads. What does the beat officer do? Sir! Well, shit. Oh, there's been a spate of thefts of pawn shops around here recently. We fitted emergency buttons underneath the counters for brokers to let us know when there's trouble. Oh, Inspector. I was very worried there for a while. Very worried indeed. Now then, it's permanently in mourning. Oh, yes? I'll be taking that whenever it is if the guild gets down to the yard, thank you very much. Hand it over. Oh, yeah, of course. No, don't! Don't give it to him! It's mine, that is. Mine! I'm sorry, miss. Anything belonging to McGill that has to be taken in as evidence now. As evidence? If the police demand something as evidence, why, dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. What is it to you, I have to wonder? So we handed over McGilded's disc. We handed McGilded's disc over to Inspector Gregson, who was summarily turfed out of the shop and onto the street. Oh, that's it. Well, alright, we'll do that then. See? That's why I hate grown-ups. All they do is feed you a pack of lies and take stuff away from you. Oh, really, Mr. Strahd? Tell me, is that overcoat keeping you warm? What? Oh my! sure that you were given that? Yeah, let me keep it. After I looked daggers at him for long enough. Went through the pockets and then said, go on then, have at it. Before telling me to scalp her. Always pays off giving people a look like you ate them. Can't help feeling that it's gonna get you in serious trouble one day. What I really wanted was that nice shiny disc, mind. Music box disc. Mr. Windibank said it was practically worthless. Huh. Think gonna go and have another bash. Give him a long, hard stare. I think not, Miss Lestraw. We shan't enter Windibanks again today. Why not? That's not fair. It can't be helped, I'm afraid. Police are investigating the scene now, taking a statement from Mr. Windibank. Well, that disc's mine. I had the ticket for his coat, and that was in the coat's pocket. There should be something else in the hole. That's what the Rotten Cove said, ain't it? Yes, he did mention something about another article, didn't he? Well, that's mine too. Whatever it is. Now she's really pushing her luck. Oh, Gina. Mr. Lestrade, I think it's time to admit defeat. You've had your haul for the day. Yeah, that's all your fault, Sholmes. So what are your plans now? Will you dine with us this evening? Eh? I would be delighted to cook, I'm sure. I might entertain you with a modest violin recital. No, Oh. Alright, I come round to your place, eh? Have you lost your head or something? And she's gone. Oh dear, she's gone. Having reviled on me quite unnecessarily, I might add. I can't help wondering if perhaps she might turn up anyway. Interesting. Once she's had a chance to calm down, I think there's a good chance she'll decide to come. Very well then. I'll inform Iris to set a place for our potential guest at the dinner table this evening. And one more thing. I should be glad of your company later, too. Sorry? Maybe I will have a rather splendid surprise to show you. Oh, how exciting. What is it? We shall have to wait and see, Miss Susato. Until later, then. Oh, this is new. Hey. It's already been 2 months since we started taking lodgings here above Mr. Sholmes' office. I still can't quite believe it. Never expected things would turn out like this. Oh, I know. Practically sharing accommodations with the world's greatest detective. If I ever find myself before a court of law now, I will have not one regret. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'd be happy to defend you, of course. Alright, that's all there is to see here. do like how it kind of hints you where to go next. Ah, Susie and Bruno. Come in, come in. Good afternoon, Iris. Thank you so much for breakfast this morning. Oh, don't mention it. Goodness, look at the time already. Busy as always? I am. I'm preparing everything for dinner this evening. Already? You're obviously cooking something special, are you? Oh yes. After all, we have a special guest joining us. Guess who it is? Go on. You'll never guess. Those little eyes of hers shining. Oh dear. It is awkward when you already know the answer, isn't it? It's Ginny. Is that exciting? Oh, what a surprise. Yes, that's wonderful news. Wow, Iris seems overjoyed at the idea. Oh. I can't wait to learn some pickpocketing tips from a real professional. Oh, yeah, that doesn't sound quite like fun. I'm not sure that's entirely appropriate. Are you Mr. Naruhodo? By the way, Iris, what's Mr. Sholmes up to? Oh. Really? Oh, he's been like that ever since he got back. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Beg that you won't speak to me. Sorry? I don't know who you are. Kindly take your leave. You can see, I'm not here. I don't know how to respond to that. I do apologize. When he gets like this, he's completely oblivious to everything. Yeah, I see. Really, he behaves just like a child sometimes, Hurley does. Mr. Sholmes and Iris have something of a parent and child relationship, don't they? It's a two-way parent and child relationship. Yes, except that Iris is clearly the parent here. Come to think of it, I wonder where her real parents are. What's the matter, Bruno? You have ever such a funny look on your face. No, it's nothing. I know what it is. Why did this girl live here with Mr. Sholmes, you're wondering? Am I right? How? How did you... Oh, Bruno. He reads you like a book. This girl is dangerous. Don't worry. You can ask me anything. I won't mind. Don't mind if we do, then. What if I showed you this, Iris? It's just a boring old thing, really, but... Oh, I don't really like boring things. It's like Japanese modesty is easily misinterpreted by young Western children. I mean, who does like boring things? No one wants to be shown something boring. Come to think of it, you're always introducing things with, this is boring, but it's a bad habit. You should stop it. I'll be sure to let the entire population of the Empire of Japan know on my return. Habits are hard to break sometimes. Oh, tea. Looks like that huge metal chest is being used as a table for tea and coffee. It seems very sturdy, with an equally sturdy lock. Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't go around opening things. I always have to keep an eye on you, don't I? You're very mischievous. How did you come to that conclusion? I guess the only thing that's new to see here. Alright. You and Ginny, eh? So by Ginny, you mean Miss Lestrade, the young woman from the Begilded case 2 months ago, right? Yes. You also stole my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Although after that trial, I invited her back here and we had dinner together. Now we're the best of friends. Oh, what a lovely tale. Yes. Now if I bump into her on the street, she runs away as fast as she can. Oh. I chase after her down the back alleys. Interesting idea of friendship. I mean, that is a mood, Gina. Whenever I make friends, I end up aggressively running away from them whenever I see them. And then I let her have it. And then I let her have the latest color of a smoke grenade I've developed. Oh. There are so many beautiful colors in the world. Ginny wants me to make a whole rainbow. I suppose this means you've let Miss Lestrade keep the smoke grenade launcher, have you? Yes, that's right. I get bored of it anyway. Hurley always reacts the same way when I shoot him with it now. Poor Hurley. Oh, I can't wait for Ginny to arrive. It's been too long since she last came over. I'm so excited. I just hope she does actually come. I'm sure you've been wondering why it is that I live here with Hurley, haven't you? Well, it has crossed my mind. That and where are your real parents? My mummy and daddy aren't with me anymore. Well, I feel like crap for asking that nonchalantly. Mommy passed away when I was born. At the same time, my father. Well, he had to go to a faraway land because of one of the cases he and Hurley were working on. Oh. Wait a minute. Did you say he and Hurley? Yes. Daddy and Hurley were always solving mysterious cases together. He didn't mention that before. He wrote them all up in his diaries. That's what's in the middle chest over there. Really? He recorded them all. So, I mean, it's true. Mr. Sholmes. He did have a partner with whom he tackled some of his most taxing cases. Oh yes. I mean, it's always nice to have one, isn't it? Mr. Sholmes' partner was your father. Exactly. Hurley told me I wasn't allowed to look at the chest. That only made me want to look even more, so I opened it up. Found your father's memoirs. Yes, so I asked Hurley. Who wrote these? He nearly fell off his chair. Then he told me. That's when I found out that the author of all these accounts was my father. So Iris's father was Mr. Sholmes' partner. You haven't made the rather, obvious name connection with a certain person we know of from the first case of the game. We haven't made that connection yet. We're gonna feel some pain when we finally do make that connection. And I have a feeling we might be making that connection now, actually. I practically lived with Hurley all my life. I was tiny when he took me in. So it came as quite a shock when Hurley told me he wasn't really my daddy. I mean, must have done. I wonder why Mr. Sholmes chose to tell you at such a young age. Hurley says because he wouldn't have been able. It's because he wouldn't have been able to hide it from me. Oh? Well, having lived with Hurley all these years, might say that his ways have rubbed off on me. There are some things I can just see. Especially lies. I always know when people are lying before they open their mouths sometimes. Right. Anyway, I was so fascinated when I read Daddy's diaries. This inspired me to write The Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes, actually. I'd always assumed Mr. Sholmes simply told you all those thrilling stories. Oh no, Hurley's hopeless like that. He forgets everything. So as he's solved the case, it all but vanishes from his mind. Oh, I see. The other day was so embarrassing. As usual, he totally forgot about the case he just solved. So the very next day, he gathered together all the people involved and proceeded to solve the case again. It was quite a shock for everyone. You can say that again. You share your father's surname, don't you, Iris? That's right, Wilson. Daddy is Dr. John H. Wilson. Well, I learned from his diaries that he's a doctor of medicine, you see. That's what prompted me to study and study so that I could earn a doctorate as well. Where's his father? What is some distant land? There's the name. This is a doctor by the name of John H. Wilson. Court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. The victim was here. He was Dr. John H. Wilson. The world is truly small. That's right. Visiting professor of medicine at Imperial Yuma University. The man who, most bizarre of circumstances, lost his life just before he left Japan. Miss Suzato. Yes. Perhaps we shouldn't pursue this conversation any further at this time. I think that would be for the best. Ah, my dear fellows. How good to see you. Mr. Sholmes. Why did you not make your presence known to me before? Well, no matter now. So, how the devil are you? We've been with you for most of the day. Goodness, really? Do tell me, Mr. Sholmes, is your violin unscathed? My violin? Whatever are you talking about, dear madam? Oh, never mind that now. I have something far more interesting to show you. Behold, my dear fellows. Oh, another music box disc. No, not another disc, Miss Suzato. This is the one that Gregson demanded we hand over as evidence. Mr. McGilden's disc. Oh my. Then what's it doing here? You know, at times, Mr. Naruhodo, I think that though I have an undeniable turn for detection, I will be even more adept at larceny. Oh, that would be wonderfully exciting. I'd be a pickpocketing assistant. And Bruno could be our go-to lawyer if he ever got caught. Right. Plus, Susie has such beautiful handwriting. She could write all our menacing crime notifications. Yes, I'd be delighted. Susanna, no. I'm just gonna pretend this conversation never happened, I think. Yes, definitely do not. Definitely do that. Oh boy. I don't understand. How did that disc come to be in your possession? I thought Inspector Gregson took it back to Scotland Yard. Quite correct. That sort of uncompromising attitude is precisely why I always carry some of this. The caramel. That's a bar of caramel, Mr. Sholmes. Your one and only friend in times of loneliness, if I'm not mistaken. If you will humor me, my dear fellows. Cast your minds back to when the good detective confiscated the disc. I'll be taking that whenever Mr. McGilden's down to the yard, thank you very much. So hand it over. Oh, yes, of course. If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. Yes, he did take it from us and pass it along. For the briefest of moments, I had that disc in my hand, did I not? Yeah, you did. But I still don't understand. It's at precisely that moment that I summoned my one and only friend into action. I pressed the disc into a pair of bars, like this. Well, that's amazing. The disc and all the minuscule protrusions have made an image in the caramel. Indeed, this caramel is quite exceptional. I developed it myself, you know. Suitably soft, making impressions but resistant to melting. The result of a precisely controlled solution. Expert chocolatier Herlock Sholmes. How extraordinary! Carrying a pair of these on one's person frequently proves very useful indeed. Take a house key, for example. A simple press and its unique form is duplicated. I can enter anyone's property at will, never without high sucrose nourishment. Yes, it sounds illegal. From the image, I was able to create this. I confess I was most curious to know what manner of music would issue from the disc when unplayed. I am as well. Do tell us then, Mr. Sholmes. What music does the disc play? Well, unfortunately, I have no idea. No idea? None whatsoever. Are you familiar with the workings of a music box, my dear fellows? No, I'm afraid not. Goodness, you don't know, Runo? Inside a music box, there's a special metal piece called a comb. That's what produces the sound. Small protuberances pluck the different teeth of the comb as they rotate past it, making the different notes. The first music boxes tend to be invented used a rotating cylinder with protuberances on it. Over time, a new type of player was produced. It uses discs such as these. With that development, the popularity of music boxes spread far and wide, all around the globe. Why exactly? Because the discs are easy to produce and can be interchanged to facilitate the playing of different tunes. There are a great many firms in Europe now manufacturing music boxes as a result. It is wonderful to be able to enjoy music even when no performer is present. It's quite lovely. But it is the very success of the invention that means we are now presented with an insurmountable problem. What do you mean? As you may imagine, the construction of one firm's music box does not match that of another. We have no way of knowing in which music box this particular disc was designed to be played. There is no resolution to this problem, I'm afraid. It's quite intractable. I see. So that's why. Naturally, I tested the disc in those few music boxes I have at my disposal. As you can hear, to no avail. The results were equally unsatisfactory in this one. So, I'm presently engaged in acquiring an example of all the music boxes ever made in Europe. Every single one? That's a lot of music. That's Hurley for you. Always taking things too far. But my dear girl, an unsolved riddle is quite repugnant to my constitution. Surely all the different types in Europe will amount to a huge volume of music boxes, won't it? Yes, that is certainly true. In the worst case. I'll just have to ask you to vacate the attic room. What? Magnus McGill. Not a name I expected to hear again so soon. Yes, it's only been 2 months since that grisly case. And the fire in the Valley. Mr. McGill had perished within hours of the trial's conclusion. Was it the curse of the Reaper? No one knows, still now. The omnibus was reduced to a pile of ash. Not a shred of evidence remained. With the man's death, the truth about the murder in which he was so intimately involved was buried. though we successfully established Mr. McGilden's innocence in the trial, newspapers are still claiming that it remains an unsolved case. Murder of the brickmaker, Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. In the end, the truth of the matter remains a mystery. We still have no idea what really happened that night. Although Mr. McGild was found not guilty through my defense, I still don't know if that was the right judgment or not. Especially with a laugh like that. It would appear the case is not yet closed. I would concur. Well, it's time I start getting things ready for dinner, I think. Ginny will be here before long. Thank you, Iris. Oh, well, you must let me help you then. Of course, Susie. There's plenty to do. I think I shall investigate the condition of my faithful performing partner. Now then, where did I leave it? Let this be a lesson to you, Mr. Sholmes. Never leave anything too precious with the pawnbroker. Oops. Yes, you may be right. Oh, that reminds me. Something Mr. Windibank said before. He said that he had a manuscript of Iris's in pawn, didn't he? Did he? Yes, he definitely mentioned it. Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom, were his words, I believe. So you heard about that, did you? I expect you were as incensed as I was. Oh, yes. The idea of such a wonderful story languishing in Mr. Windibank's storeroom, gathering dust. My dear madam, I'm quite sure I told you already. The pawnbroker's storeroom is the safest place for it, more secure than a bank's vault. And what about your Stradivarius, Hurley? Was that safe and secure? Well, there may be the occasional mix-up, caused by a certain impetuous someone not too far from me now. Do you have any idea how long it took me to write that Baskerville story, Hurley? Baskerville story? Oh, it sounds so exciting. The Hound of the Baskervilles. I should love to read it. That got some looks. Yeah? What's going on here? Why does it feel like an icy chill just swept through the room? Susie, what did you just say? You said the Hound of the Baskervilles, Susie. But how could you know the full title? Well, that's... Susie, what do you know? It's because Miss Susato is such a great fan of all the stories about Mr. Sholmes, of course. But Runo, the Hound of the Baskervilles, has never been published. What? When I showed her the manuscript, he told me that I wasn't allowed to publish it yet. I don't understand. That's why he said that he'd keep it safe. He thought it was the right time for the story to be made public, you see? That's why the manuscript is at Windibank's. And yet, how could Susie here know its title? Well, Hurley, what's going on? Ah. What is it, Mr. Sholmes? It would appear our guest has arrived. Miss Lestrade. Hi, Gina. This was a bad idea. I knew I wasn't welcome. I'm going. No, wait! Mr. Strahd! Get back here, young lady. You're having dinner. We've all been eagerly awaiting your arrival. Haven't we, Iris? Well, this is really awkward. Oh, yes, just wait there, Ginny. We'll have everything ready in a jiffy. Come along, Susie. Right, of course. Susie, you have some answers to give us. It's a pleasure to see you here, Mr. Strahd. Please, make yourself at home. Don't stand in the doorway, my dear girl. Come on in. What say you to some Mendelssohn? I won't take a no for an answer. Mendelssohn it is, then. Nah. Mendelssohn. Oh, Gina. Bug hi. Meow. That evening, Iris prepared us all a meal that was even more delicious than usual. Mr. Sholmes' violin performance was in no way meddlesome. And Gina, as we came to call her, taught us all how to steal things from one another without being noticed. Everyone thoroughly enjoyed themselves, well into the night. Does it have something to do with that letter that she received at the start of this chapter? It's time we asked her about that. It was a very enjoyable evening, wasn't it? Oh yes, Iris's cooking was truly divine. I feel as though I can still hear the enchanting strains of Mr. Holmes's violin, even now. Best of all, I bet I could steal the glasses from his lordship's face the next time we were in court. Good. Naruhodo-san, could I consult with you about something, I wonder? What's the matter, Susanna-san? It's about the telegram I received. Ah. The one that arrived first thing this morning, I suppose. I've been summoned. What? Summoned? What do you mean? The telegram was from the Lord Chief Justice's office. Lord Strongheart has asked to see me. The Lord Chief Justice? When? Tomorrow morning. What? Then we have to start preparing at once. Oh no, that won't be necessary, Naruhodo-san. I've been summoned alone. Alone? What on earth for? Is there more? I have no idea. I suppose I shall find out tomorrow. What's all this about? Whatever it is, it's making me feel very uneasy. Oh, who could that be, I wonder? Good evening, friends. Ah, Iris. Hello again. Gina? And Gina, too. Yes, Ginny's going to stay with us tonight. She's going to sleep in with me. Isn't that right, Ginny? Well, yeah. How lovely. Let me make a pot of tea. You know, I've learned so much today. Oh, what? In particular? All those things Ginny showed us. Wasn't it wonderful? I mean, all those pickpocketing techniques? We had fun trying them out on each other, didn't we? Think I've awakened a natural talent. I can earn a living from it. Yeah, might be getting ahead of yourself a little there. So what brings you up on to our humble quarters at this late hour? Well, you see, I came to return this. Wait, what? That's mine. Oh my, how did you? I told you, didn't I? I have a natural talent for it. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I was literally a child genius. Literally. So anyway, here, you can have it back. Not that I really understand why you wear it, though. Thanks. Alright then, good night. Yes, good night. So this is your office, is it? What do you think, Ginny? I think I wouldn't fancy me chances with a lawyer whether what lives in a place like this. Yes, me too. Seems as though Iris here still has something she'd like to talk about. I suppose she probably wants to talk about that manuscript. Yeah, I suppose she probably does. Alright, Susato. What the heck happened? Iris, I suppose you're hoping to talk about the manuscript, aren't you? Aren't you going to tell me? I'm so sorry. I need a little more time. Please. What? Alright, I understand. I hope I haven't made you feel awkward. No, not at all, Iris. Not at all. I don't know what all this is about, really, but it's a story you made up, isn't it? Is it, Iris? This manuscript, or whatever you call it? It's not exactly a story that I made up. It's something I read in Daddy's diaries. Oh, Daddy's? That's right. I don't suppose I've mentioned it to you before, Ginny, but my daddy was Hurley's assistant once. His partner. That? They solved all sorts of strange and mysterious cases together. Is that right, mister? Apparently so. I was as surprised as you are, though. And Daddy wrote all the details of every single case down, you see, in his diaries. So I study them and write my stories based on what actually happened. So, where's your old man now, then? He had to go away on urgent business to a faraway land. I'll be gone a very long time. So, I never really met him. Oh, alright. Come to think of it, I don't know anything about Gina's parents either. Perhaps you should ask her. Iris, this Hound of the Baskervilles story. Take it that it's another tale inspired by their father's accounts. That's right. I thought it was fascinating. But it's different somehow. From the other cases, I mean. Oh? How? I don't really know. But it must be special in some way. It's after I'd written it, and I showed the manuscript to Hurley. It turned as white as a sheet. It's the first time I've ever seen him like that. It pains me to have to say this after you've toiled over it for so long, Iris. The story must not be published at this time, under any circumstances. But why not? It's one of my best works. I'm not at liberty to say. Not now. So please, do not ask me. Alright then. I won't. But I do solemnly swear that I will explain everything one day, Iris, when the time is right. That's how the manuscript came to be with Mr. Windibank, isn't it? Yes. I heard he said it had to be somewhere very safe. That really gets my goat, that does. He's treating you like a child. It's mean, that's what it is, keeping secrets like that. I'm sure Mr. Shoulder isn't trying to be mean. Yeah? If he said he wasn't at liberty to talk about it, I'm sure there must have been a very good reason. I think so too. You lot are too trusting for your own good. But it can't pull the wool over my eyes. Sholmes is lying to Iris. I bet my life on it. What? Hurley's lying to me? Hi, Gina. I realized I don't know anything about your parents, Gina. I ain't got any, have I? Never did have. Oh. Look, these dens full of orphans like me. No one wants nothing to do with us. From the minute we're born. Not even our mums. We all stick together. The older ones look after the little ones and make sure they get by. Oh, so that's why you're a pickpocket. Yeah. We do what we have to, I suppose. Nah, driving's my life. I love it. I get a kick out of it every time I lift some pompous idiot's purse. Hashtag eat the rich. That's how we all afford to eat. I'm like Robin Hood, ain't I? That's how I see it. Oh, Gina. I do think about it sometimes. What would it be like to have parents, I mean? I always thought it'd make everything right. I haven't listened to what Iris just said. Sounds like having parents ain't always easy either. Oh. I mean, if you knew you never had them, you don't feel like you're always wanting to meet them. It's true. I do want to see Daddy. So much. Oh, Iris. That's Sholmes' lie. Gina, what did you mean when you said that you know Mr. Sholmes is lying to Iris? But he reckons he popped that manuscript or whatever, right? Come on, that's obviously a load of rubbish. Oh my, why would you think that, Gina? It's simple. That story was really an old Windibank storeroom. There's no way someone from halfway around the world, in other words, you, could know about it. Ah. Sorry, Iris, but if you ask me, he sold it. Without telling you. But Hurley would never do something like that. I'm sure of it. Huh. Grown-ups do a lot worse than that, believe me. Bare-faced lies, the lot of them. I just ain't realized it yet. I'm telling ya, that mantle script ain't at Windibank's. You'd soon see if you had a look. And if you think you can trust him, I don't. That Sholmes is a liar like the rest of them. If I'm honest, I have wondered if Hurley's telling me the truth sometimes. See. Oh, but I don't mean that I think he sold it. I mean that I sometimes wonder if he might have hidden my manuscript somewhere. Somewhere I don't know. Even though it's wrong of me to doubt him. Don't be too hard on yourself, Iris. Oh. My goodness, look at the time. Come along, Ginny. We should go back downstairs. Yeah, alright. And please, don't mention any of this to Hurley, will you? No, of course not. night then, Iris. Good night, Gina. You must let me make you breakfast tomorrow morning. I insist. Oh, yes, please. Can't wait, Susie. Good night, then. Iris. Sure is easy to forget, isn't it? Sometimes she speaks just like an adult. Deep down, she's still just a child. I think it's time that I turned in for the night, too. Naruhodo-san. You still owe us some answers. Dr. John H. Wilson, Iris' father. And also, name of the murdered visiting professor at Yuma University. It can't be a mere coincidence. There's something deeper going on. Mr. Naruhodo. Mr. Naruhodo. That voice. That's Mr. Sholmes. What's going on? It's the middle of the night. It's Miss Lestrade. She's gone. Gina! She was supposed to be sleeping in Iris' room, but her bed is empty. Well, she's an independent young woman. She probably decided to go home, no? I think not. When speaking to her before she retired, I received the distinct impression that she was looking forward to breakfasting with Miss Susato. No, I don't believe the girl has gone home. But I've been waiting for over an hour now. Over an hour? Oh. Fine, if you'll indulge me, look out the window, my dear fellow. What's this about? Oh. That's a light that's on. Wait a minute. Why is there a light on at this time of night? That's Mr. Windibank's pawnbrokery. Mr. Windibank's? Oh no. It's simple. That store was really an old Windibank storeroom. There's no way someone from halfway around the world, in other words, you, could know about it. Sorry, Iris. If you ask me, he sold it. Without telling you. Could Gina have gone? It seems you have some knowledge of the situation. Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry? Oh, no. No, not again, really. Not really. Anyway, we must investigate. At once. Mrs. Zato. The door to Windibank's. It's open. And the lamp's burning. It must be Gina, mustn't it? Let us hope it's nothing more sinister. What? Come, there's not a moment to lose. Clearly something is afoot inside. There's no one here. Oh yes, there is. Ah! Mr. Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes! What the? Has Sholmes been shot? Leave me, Mr. Naruhodo. But, after them, go! Right. Blast! I've lost them. Hello, what do we have here? What have we here? The alarm was just raised from this pawnbroker, sir. Would you know something about that? Officer, come with me. My friend, Mr. Sholmes, he's been shot. Shot? The policeman close behind me. I ran back to Windibank's.
Mr. Sholmes!
Mr. Naruhodo!
How bad is it? Never mind me, but there's much at stake. Behind that door. In the storeroom. Hurry! It's Gina!